This video is going to be over adding integers, so make sure that you're writing your notes in your math spiral. So your title is adding integers. The first part of the notes, we're going to talk about adding integers when they're the same sign. So they're either both positive or they're both negative. So for the same sign, add the absolute values and use the common sign. Pause the video so you can write down your notes. Your example is -4 plus -5. The absolute value of -4 is 4. The absolute value of -5 is 5. If you add 4 plus 5, you get 9, and then you keep the same sign, which is negative. So your answer is -9. For the other example, 3 plus 14, they're both positive, so you can just add them together, which is 17, and then they keep their positive sign. If you want to add a positive, just so you remember while we're doing integers, you can, just so you don't get confused, but you don't have to. Usually whenever they're positive, you can just leave them alone. They don't have to have a sign. So pause the video so you can take down your notes. The next part is whenever you're adding integers that have different signs. So for different signs, subtract the smaller absolute value from the larger absolute value. The sum, so whatever your answer is, that's what your sum is. And then so for the sum will be positive if the positive integer's absolute value is greater. And then the sum will be negative if the negative integer's absolute value is greater. And then here are some examples. So 6 plus -7, those have different signs. So you subtract them. 7 minus 6 is 1. And then you take the sign of the integer that has the larger absolute value. So -7 has a larger absolute value of 7, so it takes the sign. For -13 plus 18, you subtract the values, you get 5, and then 5 has the sign of 18 because 18 has a larger absolute value than -13. For -15 plus 19, you subtract them and get 4. 4 has a sign of 19 because it has a larger absolute value. And then for 5 plus -3, that equals 2 because you subtract the numbers, absolute values, and then it takes the sign of the larger absolute value. In this case, was the 5. Make sure you have all of this copied down neatly in your notes, and I will check it for a homework grade.